2.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Claws Out podcast, coming to you live from Mic'dUp Studios in Parramatta. Once again, it's becoming a bit of a habit, boys. I'm joined by Rob and Steve. How are you guys?
Excellent, Gary. How are you?
Good, mate. Good to have a win.
Now, we're going to go through Friday night's game against the Panthers, the victory out at Leichhardt Oval. But we've been teasing for the last couple of weeks a special announcement that we're going to be making. We're making that tonight. So I'm going to throw to Rob Bashara first, and he's going to make that announcement about what's going on with the West Tigers Life channel in season 2026.
Well, just like Benji, mate, I'm going to be giving you the flick pass back to you and you can run through the schedule. But pretty much what we're doing is we're changing our name to West Tigers TV. We're going to have a number of podcasts under that banner. For now, it's just West Tigers Life, Claws Out podcast. We'll be doing previews on Tuesday night when the regular season starts. There'll be fan reactions. As you would have noted, Shane Coates did some lovely fan reactions the other night from a really good, enthusiastic crowd, very happy with the win. We'll be putting out some reels. We'll be doing some special 10 to 15-minute podcasts, little short podcasts about specific subjects. Hopefully down the track, we've liaised with the club. We might even be doing some player interviews live from Concord, only 4 or 5 minute things. But we just want West Tigers TV to be your one-stop channel. And with that, I'll throw back to Gary and you can pretty much run through the schedule.
Yeah, as Rob just said, the aim is that West Tigers TV will be your home for West Tigers content. We're looking at we are launching with about 5 shows, 4 to 6 hours of content a week. So this is going to be your home. Jump on YouTube, subscribe to us, and you'll have a one-stop place where you're going to see a variety of different shows. This is our lineup that we're launching with. So Sunday nights, you'll have Claws Out, our regular Claws Out show, doing a review of the weekend's games. After that finishes, we'll have Claws Out, Coach's Corner with Robert and Adele. So Adele will be back in 2026. He will be joining us, and he and Rob will go through in detail analysis of plays and give that coach's perspective that a lot of our viewers like. Tuesday nights, Claws Out will be back again, regular team, doing the preview of the upcoming match, going through the team lineup, all that great information about the game, any events that are on around the game, that sort of stuff. On Wednesday nights, West Tigers Life returns in 2026 as well. This year it's going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit less football, but it's going to be your entertainment show. There's going to be quizzes, all sorts of fun stuff. Make sure you jump on. They'll also be live on Wednesday nights at 8:30, I believe.
About 8:30 to 8:45, and at the moment we'll be doing those shows from iChoice at Strathfield.
We are also, later in the season, we'll be bringing on a female perspective for the game, having a look at the NRLW side of things. That show, the name may change between now and that launching, but at this stage we're calling that show Hear Her Roar. And that will be your show for all the NRLW information. I know the people involved in it want to do a little bit of NRL talk, so there'll be still a little bit of NRL talk in that show, but the primary focus will be the NRLW competition. Most people know that Steve and I have been heavily involved in the ambush. Our ambush events, we're going to film those this year. Highlights of those will appear on West Tigers TV, our player interviews, our interviews with staff. We may have another interview with the CEO coming up soon. That will be included on there. So all our ambush events, if you can't get out to the game, if you can't get out to one of our events, there'll be opportunities to catch up on that through West Tigers TV. As Rob mentioned a moment ago, our fan reaction videos will be back in 2026 with the boys heading out to the games, speaking to fans as they're leaving the ground, just like you saw on Friday night. And we're also looking to continue the live watch-alongs, think Gogglebox for West Tigers. So that should make an appearance on our channel in 2026 as well. So a lot to look forward to. Make sure you get onto YouTube. If you're not already subscribed to West Tigers Life, make sure you subscribe to West Tigers TV for all your West Tigers information.
And I'll just go further with that. If you're looking for West Tigers TV tonight, after 8 o'clock, you won't find it because it'll be called West Tigers TV. So as of 8 p.m. tonight, Sunday night, we'll have a proper full name change and it will be called West Tigers TV. And
a lot of our socials, Facebook will be changing over as well. So make sure you're following West Tigers TV. You'll get all your shows, all the entertainment, all the podcasts that you've listened to across multiple channels for the last couple of years will be found in that place. We are looking at bringing on other content creators as well. So if you're watching and you're a content creator and you're interested in being involved, reach out to us and we'll see what we can do with that as well.
Excellent.
Make sure you subscribe. Now we're going to move on to that game. And what a wonderful game on Friday night. West Tigers almost got themselves in a position to lead the preseason challenge, though it doesn't mean a lot. $100,000 would have been good. But we're going to start, as we did last week, with the boys' initial sort of takeaways from that game. And I'll start with Steve. You've had to sit here and watch Rob and I speak for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I want to race home and follow West Tigers TV. I'm all fired up about it now. Now, my initial reaction to the game, we'll go into it more in depth over the next 45 minutes or so, but to me, the team did what the coaches have been looking for. And I won't elaborate on that yet, but that was the first thing for me. And the second thing was our completion rate. That just set us up for victory. Both halves, our completion rate was way better than Panthers and was 88, 89%, I think.
2 players arrived for me last Friday night, especially on the field. One, Macassini, that was probably a year early.
Undeniable now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's irresistible, mate. What he did on Friday night was fantastic. And one who's always delivered off the field for us and really changed our culture, but we're finally starting to see it on the field. I know it was only a trial, Jerome Lui, and that's probably a year later than we expected. So one came a year early, one came a year late, but both those.
So average it out, they're both on time?
They're both on time, mate. We're ready to go.
Steve, now we spoke last week when we reviewed the game against the Roosters that it was once again a slow start. Panthers got out to a 6-0 lead. Did you put that down to a slow start or was it something else?
No, I thought we started the game pretty well, actually. Our line speed was really good. Our collision was exceptional. We were really going out there to hit hard. I thought our first contact in the middle of the field was pretty good. Our first contact out wide, there was still a bit of arm grabbing going on, but they went out there with defensive intent. They wanted to really put it onto the Panthers, and I reckon that is one of the reasons that Panthers' completion rate was down over the 80 minutes was because we pressured them. We pressured them with intent. We pressured them with line speed. So I thought we started pretty well. Like that try was a typical Panthers try, right? That first try, like Cleary dancing across field. They had mobile runners, dummy runners attacking the line. We got caught watching the dummy runners, and then Cleary got the ball out past us to create the overlap, and we couldn't shuffle across and spoil it. But no, I thought our start was a lot better than the first trial.
I want to agree and disagree with Steve. So I
just disagree with him. Everyone agrees with him.
Well, no, I'm going to agree with him on one thing. The contact in the first trial, the first up contact, and the way we start games is poor. And I am going to disagree with you, Steve. I actually think our contact was poor. I know the line speed was good. I know we went up and pressured. I felt we fell off a lot of tackles. I thought Penrith dominated that initial stage of the game. But there was certainly intent there. I just didn't think we were doing a good job of wrapping them up. They were getting quicker play the balls. I think the play the ball speed was a little bit faster than ours, about 0.3 of a second or thereabouts. So, but then once we got into the game, Steve, I think we did really well. But yeah, again, as soon as while I was watching the game, just actually giving you credit here. While I was watching the game, I thought, bloody hell, Steve's right. We're not. The first contact's awful. Like, what's going on here? So I didn't see it the way you saw it. I thought the contact was poor.
I'll tell you what metric I tend to use, especially in that opening 20 minutes, right, when you're really trying to, assert yourself in a game, and that's where the fifth tackle kick happens, and that domination up and down the field. That first set, and I think even the commentator on Fox mentioned it, the great first set from the Tigers.
Yep.
They kicked from about 40 yards out, right? I think that's where they played the ball, actually. So they're kicking from behind that. And that first 15, 20 minutes, we were winning the field position consistently. Now, against Cleary's kicking game, you might remember in the last pod, we all agreed, it's going to be hard for us to dominate this game, but if we can go set for set with them and match them, we're probably doing a pretty good job. And I went away from that first 20 minutes thinking, yeah, you know what? We have matched one of the best teams in the comp at putting on defensive pressure.
The highlight for me was we did it without Terrell May. Terrell May's been our rock in 2025, and I've always worried how would our team look without Terrell May. Bunty Afoa was really solid. He was very solid, hardly missed a tackle, good solid hit-ups, nothing special, but just really did a job.
I thought he was fantastic. He was leading a lot of that line speed as well. He's the one who was dragging the rest of the team up, which I thought was really impressive. Anyone else in that line speed, Steve, you're impressed with?
No, Bunty's the first one that really come to mind. You might remember we mentioned that in the last pod, saying that exactly was what he was doing at training. But the whole middle, like I think our middle was stronger than our edges defensively. I still think we've got to tighten up on the edges. But I would say that whole middle forward pack, starting forward pack, and well, no, not just the starting forward pack, right throughout the night, that line speed continued. And so, yeah, I'd single out Bunty because he was our forward leader without a doubt. But all of them, we mentioned the other night, we were talking about Suka and what's the other fella? The other back rower?
Charlie Murray,
right? We're talking about them being sort of like reserve grades on the cusp, and you're saying, well, Charlie Murray stepped. Well, they did step up, right? They all played at least to their potential, if not above their potential. It was a good showing, especially tight.
So you mentioned Bunty. What did you like about his game? It is further down my run sheet, but we're at it now, so we might as well address it now.
Just put simply, that he could handle first grade. The guy was playing Cup last year for New Zealand, so the fact that he could step up, I said on our last podcast I thought he was going to get a bench role, not knowing who was out, not knowing Royce Hunt was out, not knowing Terrell May was out, but him being able to start and make an impact. And you look at that Penrith team, other than Liam Martin and Casey McLean, that was pretty much a full-strength team. So he got the best of the Penrith pack there, and he didn't take a backward step.
So where's he sitting in your depth chart now? You said he may make a bench spot when we spoke last week. Has that changed?
He'll get a bench spot, but I'll tell you who else is going to get a bench spot, and you might want to talk about him later, Charlie Murray. I mean,
he's definitely...
he didn't get offloads, but his intent, his ability to create an error, his tackling was fantastic. He didn't miss a tackle, I believe. Someone asked me, is he on peptides? Because this is a new Charlie Murray. I mean, it was a joke.
Yeah, I may have asked you that.
No, I don't know, but it was a performance like 2 in a row, back to back. That's really good. If he can keep that up through the year, suddenly that's one extra forward in my line of thinking that we didn't have that we now do have.
Yeah, I think it comes down to what sort of forward pack Benji wants to go with. If he wants a Warriors style forward pack where you've got Terrell May, you've got Bunty Afoa, you've got Royce Hunt, you've got Sione coming through, you've got Pole, those big boppers just marching down the field, then he might struggle. But if he wants a more agile, mobile forward pack, which a lot of teams are going for these days, or at least have a component in his pack that has that agility, then Murray, he's certainly put himself in the picture. And I think Suka's behind him, but I don't think he did himself. I think he did himself some favours that he played a fairly solid game too.
Now, I'm going to move on to probably the biggest talking point coming out of that game, and it's Hamasi Makasini. His performance after that first try from the Panthers, twice he was put away down that left edge. Massive game, and probably puts his name in erasable ink into that West Tigers starting side for round one.
Unless there's an injury somewhere else on the field, he has to be our left winger. As you said, he put down that sideline twice, both from great lead-up play from Jerome Lui. The first time he got put down the sideline was a cutout pass to Taylor May.
Very flat and hard.
Yeah, gave Taylor May some space to put him away. But what I loved about the try is what happened on that first play when he got tackled. So generally, Macca can beat a player quite easily, and he did the in and away, and to his credit, Dylan Edwards made a great tackle. And so he had the presence of mind to know when he got in that same space again that if he tried to do the same thing, this guy's going to make a nice legs tackle, so I'll do the Jonah Lomu and give him the Maori sidestep and run over the top of him. So it was just really good awareness that he realised I've got to do something different to get past this guy. And not only did he do that, like he palmed off going, he fended off Targo, like he beat 3 guys. And and that was the thing we discussed last week, Steve. Remember I said to you, for all his great work last week, the one thing that impressed me was his first try, because he got past Talau, he got past the right winger, and he pushed off the fullback. And this was similar in the sense that he beat 3 players, but it was a much harder task to what he did. He got the ball 41 metres out.
Yep.
And he did a lot of work from 41 metres out. And I said, we're going to be able to score long-range tries this year. It's just that red zone stuff, that's where we've got to improve.
Steve, how many times did you watch that try back?
Yeah, I've watched it a few. I've watched the whole game a couple of times, actually. It was nice viewing. But, the other thing about that is what happened inside of him to give him the space and give him the time that he needed to do what he did, not just once, but on numerous occasions. And on occasions other than that, Taylor May looked extremely dangerous. Like he's stepping, he almost got right through there
twice.
In the with a bit of space. So the quality of ball that Lui was giving to that left edge, and Sam Weller, played all right, but he didn't need to do anything. He didn't get much of an opportunity because it was getting out of him. But he
did his role.
He
on
did his
play.
role. That quick ball he gave, to get it out to Talon before it went to Makasini.
Any centre
awesome
would be proud of that pass.
Yeah, that's right. But what I'm trying to say is there are now multiple options on that left edge, and if they get the quality of ball that Jerome Lui gave, and thanks for listening to me, Jerome. I appreciate the fact that you've taken my advice, and great effort.
Well, I was going to say too, last week Charlie Murray provided a few offloads. He didn't this week, but he provided a few offloads that really helped us, either score a try or make a long break. That was the one offload that Alex Twal got to do in the game. But it shows you how important second phase play is. Like if you can just create a little bit of opportunity, pop a ball, the defence is scattered, they're not set, and that's where Lui went and did his magic. And basically, for an NBA term, he broke Nathan Cleary's ankles. He had him falling over, and
he almost fell backwards.
It was. I hadn't seen that sort of footwork all year last year from Jerome Lui. So, look, to me, the most exciting. I know Makasini is amazing. Just if we get this Jerome Lui in 2026, oh my God!
You know what? The other thing to think about there in this game, and again, we've got to temper it a little bit. Like it's a trial. You know what we said? Don't get too excited. Don't get too down. Right? It's just a trial, but we played with that amount of time and space against probably the best drilled defensive team in the competition, especially as far as line speed goes. Their line speed, like they're renowned for it. Now, and it shows how much they miss their back rower too. Him not because he leads their line speed. He wasn't. Liam Martin, and he wasn't there. But to have that time and space against a team that moves up so quickly, that just shows you how succinct we were in our attack.
The highlight of that try, and I'm going to throw back to what we saw last year, our best attacking moments are against a broken play. So an offload, the long-range try we scored against the Cowboys last year came off a kick return.
Yep.
That's why offloading for our side is so important, because as soon as we can get that broken defence, we're extremely dangerous, Rob.
Well, that's why, again, I know Terrell May is going to play 60 minutes this year, but I'd like to bring his minutes back a little bit and let him have more impact because he can offload at will. I know Royce Hunt can offload when he gets on the field. So
Kai Pearce-Paul.
Yeah, Kai Pearce-Paul. Well, actually, we have to talk about Kai Pearce-Paul later too, because I want to ask you something about round 2. But because he didn't play the other night. That's actually a worry for me. Can he get through 80 minutes in 3 weeks? Yep. Not having had a trial. But back to that. Like, it's exciting now for me now. Like, I know it is a trial. I'll be honest. I want to concentrate on the positives. There were a lot of negatives for me. There were some of our best players were below par. Now, I just look at it like, you know what, it's the first trial. They're just rusty. That's all it is. But, a couple of guys, I thought Jerome Buller was below par.
Yeah, I think that's the worst game he's had in a while for us.
Even though he scored a try, he missed a few tackles. He looked like he was going to get beaten under every high ball, whether it was him or Taruva. And, my favourite player and like the best player for the last 3 years as far as I'm concerned, Appy Coruscant, some of his service from dummy half was really rusty. Now, that's just game time. And like Appy will be one of our best players all year, but Adam got some balls that were pretty poor and that made Adam look bad at times. So
Sione was loose too.
Sione missed 7 tackles.
Defense,
yeah, he missed 7 tackles. There's plenty there that we can improve. There's other players that we've bought. Like I thought Herbert didn't impress me. He missed, I think, 4 tackles, made 5, missed 4. There's a few things to pick on if you want to pick on things, but just overall to keep a team like Penrith almost at full strength to 12-10 down at half time, that's just a misconversion. That's basically the difference between the two teams, and Cleary didn't come off till a couple of minutes before half time. So you can't say we had 13 on 12 for 10 minutes.
No, it was 2 minutes.
It was 2 minutes in the first half.
And I said before the game that a victory for me is pretty much being in contact with them at halftime, and we were the
That's
best
what we
side
got.
over the past 6 years, and we were well and truly in that game, playing as well as them, if not better, heading into halftime, Steve.
You know what else I thought that was telling? Like, we can talk about this game as a game of two halves, and we did. Our first grade team matched their first grade team, for 40 minutes, and that's all you can ask. Then, not long after half time, like 5-10 minutes into half time, there were sweeping changes both sides. It was almost the exact same team. Then our reserve grade team, or our second grade team, or the guys that are going to push our first grade team, right, outplayed the Panthers second grade side, and they actually were more patient than them, and they kept at it, and then got on top in the last 10 minutes and scored 3 tries in the last few minutes.
Well, Gary made a good point, in the notes. I hadn't even thought of it. We basically went half a game keeping them scoreless, didn't we? I think the exact. Was it 40 minutes?
No, it was. They scored their last try in the 22nd minute.
Well, there you go. So that's 58 minutes.
Correct.
That's fantastic.
So best part of 60 minutes.
If we don't get injury, if we're not ravaged with injury this year, our first grade team is going to be competitive. Our second grade team is going to be competitive as well. So it shows that we are building depth that we need in this club.
Now, you raised a moment ago, Nathan Cleary getting sin-binned.
Yes.
Man, the Panthers are cut up about that over the weekend, haven't they? To the point, sitting at the ground, I had a couple of Panthers fans around me. They were arguing he should have been sin-binned at all. I said, he's going to get suspended. No, he won't be suspended. But it's coming out today that even though he's suspended, because he's the NRL darling, Steve, he's still eligible to win the Dally M at the end of the year.
So it's not just the Melbourne Storm that have personal emails going back and forth with Abdo. Then it's obviously Panthers as well.
Apparently, the Tigers ones get ignored most of the time.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I think in the regular season that's a send off. I don't think it's a sin bin. I think that's a send off. That's direct shoulder contact to the head. As a rugby league lover, like take my West Tigers hat off. I hate to see Nathan Cleary miss a game because I think it's ridiculous that he even did something like that in a trial and put himself at risk to get suspended. I think, you want to be there for round one. And as he said before the game when he got interviewed, he goes, this is just for us to blow out the cobwebs, a blow for one of them.
And it's the first trial he's played in 3 or 4 years as well.
So he's probably not thinking of it as a trial because he's clicked into game mode and he didn't realise what was going on. But look, we're lucky that Macassini's all right. Like, imagine Macassini broke his jaw there, and that's the problem with the NRL. If Macassini broke his jaw, Cleary would get a longer suspension. So we tend to penalise players by the injury to the victim as opposed to the actual action that they take.
It happens in-game as well. If he had stayed down and it was a serious injury that you could see on the field, it's much more likely he gets sent off instead of a sin binning as well.
Well, I'll tell you what I think should happen in a trial, though. I don't think you can ask a referee, because they're blowing out the cobwebs too. I don't think you can ask a referee to referee any differently in a trial than what they'd referee in a normal game situation.
Correct.
But I do think in a trial match, when you are trying to work out your best 17, 19, and get your team, into the season, I think it should be 13 on 13. So I think Cleary should have been given the 10 minutes in the bin.
And replaced.
But I think in a trial he should be replaced, so it's always 13 on 13.
Technically it's a competition though. There's 100,000 up for first prize.
That's true.
All that.
That's
So I was actually really surprised that they didn't bring Cleary on because I look at it the other way. He's going to get suspended, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he's going to get suspended. So he really needs as much game time as he can. So I actually would have, if I was a coach, I'd be playing him for the whole second half, just giving him a really good run because he's going to be watching TV for the next few weeks.
Now, what I wanted to speak about next, we have kind of spoken about it a little bit. I want to talk about some of those key performances from our side. We've spoken about Bunty and we've spoken about Charlie Murray. Fanua Pole got through 157 metres on the weekend, Steve. Your thoughts on his game?
Yeah, I thought Fanua Pole had a really good game. It was an interesting game in that, we can look at Macassini's couple of efforts there. We can look at Pole's metres, but it was a game where the whole squad did their job. They really did. We had guys that, Buller was off for sure. Sione missed some tackles, but all those players played a key role in that victory. So it's hard to highlight special efforts, I think, in this game. But yeah, Fanua Pole was really strong, but so was Bunty, so was Suka. Sione did some good things. The game's been marred by his defensive lapses, but he ran good meters as well. Maverick Guy, when he came on, was impressive.
Was excellent, except for crawling over that ruck and giving away. That's a really bad penalty you can't afford to give away.
I didn't pick that up so much live, but when I was watching the replay, I thought there's a bit of his dad in that.
But that's an issue we have with a number of players already who give away those types of penalties. Pole does it quite often. Alex Seyfarth does it. We can't really afford another guy who's giving away dumb penalties like that, Rob.
Look, back to what you said about Bole, that really warmed my heart. I was one of his biggest critics last year. I'm assuming he was injured. The best part about what he did was he ran freely. He had one brain fade where he dropped a simple ball. Yep. He's got that, 30 seconds where he has a lack of concentration and he makes an error, whether it's give away a penalty or drop a ball or just be lazy coming back from making a tackle. But to see him run freely with impact, did we have a forward that ran with more impact than Fanua Bole all night? No. Like you might expect it from Bunty Afoa or someone like that. I thought he was outstanding. And again, that's one guy I felt wasn't a forward last year. Like he'd kind of let us down. So if we're getting this version of Fanua Bole, if we're getting this version of Charlie Murray, Maverick Geyer, I thought was an absolute dud purchase on what he did the other night. He was outstanding.
He was outstanding.
So there's plenty to like about the fringe players, and you can go to the backline. I'm sure you get onto those players later, but there's a real sense of, feel good around the club and about what they're doing. So I'm loving it.
And we played that game without Royce Hunt and Terrell May. Two of our starting 17, you would think.
Well, yes. Most experienced anyway.
Yeah.
You've spoken throughout the off-season about possibly Sione jumping Pole in the pecking order as your preference for starting. Did Pole wrap up that starting spot for you on Friday?
Look, I think he'll get it because I think that's what Benji will do. Sione looks a little bit under. He looks like he's a week behind everyone. I'm not sure why, but he just doesn't look quite ready yet. But based on what he's done in the past, I would still be starting with Sione. I think I'd still start with Terrell and Sione. I reckon because I like Pole off the bench. But the other thing that we're going to start thinking about is Bunty Afoa. Where is his best? Is he going to be best coming off the bench after 22, 23 minutes, or is he going to be good in that first 10, 15 minutes? Because he's right up there as a hard-hitting forward, right?
If the game was played like Friday night, I would start with Bunty Afoa now because Fanua gives you that impact. I don't know if Bunty's going to give you that impact off the bench. I can't start with Sione based on the missed tackles. I really can't. It's just too many for my liking. That first part of the game is a bit of a game of forcings back and a game of field position. You're waiting for that first team to make an error and then you want to pounce on that error. I can't start with Sione. He's got to find some form. I think Sione's probably played himself out of a starting role more than Fanua has put himself in the order for starting. I can't start with Sione.
Let's have a little look at the backs. For me, the highlight is not one player. It's just that left edge. I think it's potentially, and we've spoken a fair bit about it already, but I think it's potentially the best left edge in the game.
It's a top 5 left edge. There's plenty of good left edges you just have to look at today, and when South are at full strength, they're going to have, Murray, what's his name, David Fafita, Latrell Mitchell and Alex Johnson on the left wing. There's, the Brisbane left edges. There's quite a few good left edges, but we won't back down from anyone on that left edge. And in attack, we can do anything there. So, and don't forget, Samuel nearly scored a try too if he didn't actually knock the ball on near the goal line there. So Samuel is
his own kick.
His own kick, but man, I don't think he's a good poker player. He got up and basically said, "I've buggered this up."
Gave it up.
He gave it up. He gave it up straight away. Come on, mate, celebrate. Try and sell it.
Going on to our halves, Steve. Lui had a fantastic game.
Lui was outstanding, and again, we'll go back to that concept of a game of two halves. Lui and Dwey, their combinations were great. They controlled the game beautifully. Dwey did a great job in managing the game, allowing Lui to run the ball. His passing game and his running game were just the best I've seen ever. You're going to jump in there? No?
Okay. I have I'm not going to say slightly unpopular. I have a very unpopular opinion.
He wants to bring some black clouds into the Mic'dUp studios. That's what he wants to do.
Now, I have an opinion that definitely differs to you guys. I want to preface it by saying Adam Dwey had a great game on Friday night.
But
That's what it says in the run sheet that you couldn't find.
okay.
He is in my starting side in the 7 jumper in round 1. The issue that I do have is still, and it's the issue for anyone who's listened to pods I've been on for a while, it's his passing game. He 100% is a run-first halfback. But even the try that Buller scored that came from a ball from Dewey was when he engaged in the line and offloaded. The issue I had when he was playing as a 5'8" is his first idea is to engage the line and have contact with the defenders. Now, for me, that's more of a lock. For me, I think his best role, and I think we need him at halfback at the moment, but I think his best role is that lock forward role in attack. Now, I still think there's issues he needs to work on in defence, but my unpopular opinion is I think Adam Dewey as a player is better suited to lock than halfback. Am I wrong, Rob?
He won't be able to handle the defensive workload of lock. If you're talking about style of
Why
play
not,
in
though?
attack, mate, he's not built to be a lock. He's not. Okay, he might be tall
He's
enough,
100.
but he's not.
He's 100 plus kilos. We're playing Heath Mason at lock.
The guy's a weapon. The guy's strike. I mean, you just mentioned he took the line on, flicked the ball out, put Buller over for a try. I think it'll be a lot different when Kai Pearce-Paul's there. You got Pearce-Paul. We know Benji said he's going to be trying to play a lot of second phase and offload. So when you got a player like that, I'm sure Adam can give him the ball and say, do your thing, promote some second phase, give it to Toa, do whatever you want to do. But when, you got, no offence to Alex Seyfarth, Alex Seyfarth out there, probably the better options to run the ball.
Look, I think what's brought this up was the fact that we bombed a try on Friday night.
It's not just that, because it's the same issue. You've been on pods with me for a long time. It's the same issue I've been discussing. And the reason why I wanted to raise it today is I don't want to raise it after he's had a bad game. He had an excellent game on Friday, but that issue is still there. And you mentioned Toa a moment ago. I'm going to ask you, Steve, and you can jump in as well if you want, Rob. How is Toa best used in your backline?
Oh, Toa needs space and time. Yeah, like
So early ball.
Yeah, Toa can beat a man if he's got the space, right? So
Is he going to get that ball?
I think he will, because I think the team will address it. And I think they're already addressing it to a certain point. Like, I agree with you. I remember a game, I think it was against Canterbury, when he made the break downfield. He went for about a 30-metre run down the right-hand side and threw it inside to Buller for a try, and he almost stuffed that. Like,
He threw the pass forward.
Yeah,
he threw the pass 2 metres forward.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I think he does have a skill deficiency there. I do. What I've seen at training on that right side is Buller coming around on the right side and playing that link role. I think they'll do a bit of that. I think Adam's just got to keep working on that. But in the context of Friday night, what I saw him do was exactly what Benji Marshall said he wanted his halves to do. In fact, all 4 halves did this.
Yeah, he was definitely straightening that attack.
Straighten the attack, digging into the line, and it was that work that when they did that gave the outside guy space. Now he dug into the line when he should have passed it, and when we had a 2-man overlap, and if that was 2 points on the line, we'd have been screaming blue murder. But I think there's a deficiency. I still think he's the best man for the job at 7.
I still think he's the best man for the job at 7 as well, so I'm not taking that away.
You didn't last week. Last week you had Madden in there.
I do like Madden.
I'm going to go further. Unless Adam gets injured, he's going to be number 7 all year and to the semi-finals if all things go well. I think it's a trial, mate. I don't think you can be that harsh on him.
The reason I'm raising it is not because I'm basing it on the trial. I'm basing it on the football I've watched of Adam for the last 5 years. I think it's an area of his game, if he wants to play half, that he really needs to work on.
Okay, if I'm marking Jock Madden, I know he's going to dig into the line, and I know 95% of the time he's going to pass it. When Adam's got the ball, I'm thinking he's going to run it. You're making he's going to engage defenders. I think he can actually create more space if you're worried about Adam running. And if they overcommit with their speed in the line, he can step off the right foot and come back inside. How many times have we seen him score tries, whether it's even from a scrum or anything like that? I know he's not a natural halfback, but I think he will do a great job for us this year. and he did nothing wrong the other night in what he only played one half. I don't think he came back on in the second half, did he? I'm not sure.
The halves,
he might have played a few minutes.
The halves came on for like 5 minutes in the second half.
Well, I think also you'll find, with what you just said, Rob, like he is going to attract defenders. He's going to keep the defensive line on their toes because of that. We've also now got a weapon out there in Kai Pearce-Paul. Hopefully, he proves to be a weapon. So the defenders are going to watch that. We've also got a better forward pack, which is going to squeeze the defensive line early in the set. And so with all those three things in play, Toa should get space, a lot more space than he's had. Like no disrespect for Seafarth. I like what Seafarth does on a football field, but he's not going to worry defensively.
So I shouldn't say that he may have the space, but not the ball.
No, you shouldn't say that.
Any complaint can direct them just at me. It is just me, and I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I do think he's better suited to the lock role, especially in attack. I do concede there are issues defensively.
Do you agree that Luai's game on Friday was in part due to Dewey's management?
I do, but I don't think Madden's management would harm that game that he had on Friday night.
I don't think it affected Lui. I think it was pretty much left half, right half. I don't think
there were times that Lui was sweeping to the right as well. So Lui is the big. You mentioned earlier that Lui has taken 12 months to get him where we want. I still firmly believe that's because Penrith played him in a shoebox. He had that left side. That's all he was. He's now coming across to the right side. He was coming across to the right side on Friday night and doing it quite well.
Well, the try and that other run Macassini did, they had two line break assists that you wouldn't have seen from Lui most of last year. I think he had two against Canberra at Campbelltown one night, and that was like the first time he'd had two in one game.
I think his game's gone up another level since Taylor came across.
Yeah.
Having Taylor there creates a lot of doubt in the opposition's defence, and I think that has improved Luai's game at the end of last season and going into this season a lot more.
I agree with that, but I still reckon that having Dewey's presence next to him, an experienced first grader who's confident and is capable of steering the team around the park, getting the play to different positions on the field where they want it to be to put on plays, I think that's helping Luai's game. He doesn't have to worry about it. It doesn't mean he's not calling plays. Of course he would be. He'd be very vocal out there. But I think having Dewey there to just steer the team in the right direction has taken a lot of pressure off Lui.
I think all those players outside Lui on the left edge are going to benefit, obviously, but the biggest win is Samuel Afenu, because they have to watch. They know how grease lightning, I should say, that Taylor May is, and they certainly know what Macassini can do. And like occasionally, if just Lui pops that short ball to Samuela in a hole, like that crash play that Luke Brooks used to do 11 out of 10 times, that could actually work as well for Samuela. So, like you said, it's an exciting left edge. One sort of little criticism, and I don't want to be too critical, I thought when we moved the ball left to right, it just looked a bit clunky. It didn't look crisp, but there were a few Harbour Bridge passes. Just go back and watch that first half. I'm not saying the second half. I actually think the second half the kids did better.
So that's my next point I want to raise. The two backups in the halves, in Madden and Andrews, were absolutely outstanding. I thought Andrews was fantastic, Steve.
Oh, yeah, that face ball he threw, that cutout pass to put Lily away, that was just a beautiful ball. A couple of nice kicks. Like he had 3 try assists, didn't he, really?
Yeah, different types of halves because, again, what Madden did in the second half, again, I know they're cut players on both teams, but Madden gives you space. He throws a lot of long balls. He digs into the line. He just makes the field wider for all the players, and that's what creates holes.
He puts the ball so far out in front of his players. Andrews had no choice but to go full pace onto those
to catch
balls.
It because it was so long.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Madden, happy with his game, Steve?
Yeah, Jock Madden, I thought he was overshadowed by Andrews on the weekend, but only because he played so well. The 5'8". So, but Jock Madden was solid again. I thought the week before he dominated and he stood out. I don't think he stood out this week as much, but he was still very solid. Kicking game's good again.
The issue I do have with Madden and the reason why he's not in consideration for me come round one is he's had a number of opportunities at that NRL level now, especially with us, Rob, and he seems to do very well at the New South Wales Cup level, which that second half on the weekend pretty much was, which the trial last weekend was, but he hasn't quite made that step up to NRL yet.
I think he'd be fine in our team, and you've got to remember 2026 is a new year. Like I labelled Charlie Murray as not a first grader, and he's proving me wrong. And there's other players doing that there. There was more than just those long passes to Javon Andrews there. I think he put Bunty Afoa through a hole.
He did.
There was a try-scoring opportunity in the right wing where I think Tavana ended up going over the corner post. That all came from Jock Madden doing his thing, digging in the line, creating space, giving players early ball to let them do their thing. I think he's a different type of halfback. So if you're used to what he's going to do, like you won't put it this way, if you're near Adam Dewey, you're going to be standing a lot closer to him than you would with a Jock Madden. So they're just different types of halves. The players around him have to adjust to that sort of person.
You mentioned Charlie Murray, and we did speak about him a little bit. Is he pushing for a starting spot or just on the bench for you guys, Steve?
By starting spot, you mean first 13? No, I don't have him in my first 13. I didn't have him in my 17 and possibly not my 19 until listening to Rob. And so after listening to Rob on the pod the other day, I watched him really carefully on the weekend. But I don't think that would have mattered actually because he stood out. He's coming good. I think he'll pick up 18 or 19. I think there's a good chance of that.
He's minimum on the bench, and right now I don't see a better option at 13. Although Guy did play really well. I'm not going to doubt that, but that was half a game of football. We've seen Charlie Murray now in 2 trials. The only thing that we didn't see the other night, like I said earlier, was the offload. He had 3 offloads against the Roosters. He had no offloads against the stronger Penrith pack. But again, he's solid. He's not missing his tackles. And I think he's better suited in the middle of the field. Like, unfortunately, we had to shunt him out wide a couple of times last year and he got caught out there. So his area is middle of the field and he can ball play if need be. So who else do we have as a 13? I think it's a better, like I love Twally. I don't think he's a 13. I know he got shifted to prop. But, in terms of starting, he wouldn't do us any harm.
So you think he's pushing for that
I
starting
think he's pushing. I think
jumper?
he's pushing for it. I don't think he'll get it, but I think I wouldn't be unhappy if he got it, but I'd be very unhappy if he's not in the 19-man squad.
I've got to come to Twoll's defence. I'd say a year ago, I wasn't rating Twoll. I thought the season before he had a poor season. I thought last year, especially the back half, he really came into his own. He went to the next level, in my opinion. He started to offload. He started to push through the defensive line. He never pushed through the defensive line.
Some footwork?
Yeah, a little bit of footwork at the line, that's right. So the other thing is he doesn't miss a tackle. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, doesn't drop a ball. We are chronic when we're starting a football game of making those unforced errors that then gives the opposition back-to-back sets on our line. We end up 6-0 down after 10 minutes, right? You go back and have a look how many times that happens. Twoll is a safe, good option at 13 to start a game, right? No, he doesn't give you some of that attacking flair that someone who's got a good offload will give you, but he's not going to let you down. And I think he's the perfect man at the moment in our football team to start at lock.
When are you making that change? So how far in the game are you letting him play? Is it the first 20 minutes?
Yeah, well, it's that first 20, 25, and whether you push him, depending on what he's done in that first 22 minutes, whether he comes off or whether you push him into the middle and bring someone else on at 13, that would be dependent on his workload in that first 20 minutes, I suppose.
Do you have anyone else pushing for selection for round 2 out of that second group of players we had playing on the weekend?
I'm just trying to see what other names there are there. Look, as I mentioned, I don't think you'll get a spot, but I thought Guy impressed me. In terms of the backs, look, really probably the standout back still Jock Madden. I don't think he's going to get a gig on the bench, but that was...
And our backline is fairly set at the moment. I don't think there's many other options who are anywhere near what we currently have.
I think Javon Andrews is playing great, and and it's not a knock. He's just an opportunist. Like, he knows how to score. He knows how to put people through holes. He's not Benji Marshall. He's not Benji Marshall, but he's a guy that can just make something out of nothing if you need to create something.
Is he an option at fullback at some stage?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we have to, we have to worry a little bit about Addard letting that ball go that ended up being a no try. Like, that's a little bit of inexperience there. But
because one of the, I can't remember whose try. It might have been Tavana's try last weekend. He swept around in that kind of sweeping role
Yeah.
that Buller kind of does for us on that left edge, and did it quite well and looked like a fullback doing it.
Yeah, I think the good thing from what I saw from the second half with the kids is if they're nurtured properly and they're taught properly and they just gradually improve bit by bit, I think they're ready-made first graders in a year or two.
Yeah, and
that's what we
that's the
need.
great thing. Yeah, that's the great thing. I've got one to throw out there. If Stafford is not right, and he's the one from that back line that you'd have a question mark on at the moment. And the decision was that Macassini comes onto the left and we put Talon onto the right. That leaves a wing spot on the left, correct?
Correct.
I'm a real fan of Luke Laulili. I thought in the first trial he was quiet. I thought he was incredible on Friday night. I thought he had a really good game, albeit against the second grade versus second grade. I wonder if he gets that, if that happened, if he gets that ahead of Skelton.
He played a really good game Friday night. He did drop an easy ball downfield against the Roosters like last week. I think he's just a little bit raw. He's got the talent. And the other thing too you got to think is if there's a like for like as a replacement, are you going to play Luke, who's leaving for Perth, or are you going to play someone that perhaps might be staying on at the club? Like, would you give Skelton back the position?
Gary and I have had this discussion before. My answer to that, like for like's hard, right? But my answer to that is you pick your. No, but it doesn't matter what's happening next year. You pick your best player. If he's the best man for that week, that's who you pick. Unless we're out of the race for the 8 and you're getting ready for the year after. But I just like him. I think Perth are getting a good footballer.
Yeah, right centre is going to be a real problem if Toa doesn't play well. I think what we need to do is make sure Toa's playing well because Herbert's not an option. And do we want to weaken that left edge? I mean, the best of the worst options is moving Taylor and May to right centre. That's the best of the worst option.
I'd hate to move him.
I'd hate to move him
You
too.
damage everyone around him.
And you're actually taking away from Macassini because he's got a guy that knows how to put him away. And if they overcommit to Macassini, he'll go score himself.
The thing I did notice about Toa the other night, that arm's still heavily strapped, Steve.
Well, we know that he's not right. We've been told he's not 100%. We've been told that he's good enough to play and he's ready to play, and the injury won't inhibit him in a game. Like if we want to get really detailed, he said that if he's tight in, he can't fend out like this, but if a wide fend he can do without any problem. So
he needs early ball.
But if
he put one good fend the other night, a really good fend.
But like if he's out there, if he's put himself up for selection, he's selected, then he's got to perform.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Like I said to you last week, if you're injured, don't play. If you play, you're not injured.
So speaking about injuries, Kai Pearce-Paul got injured late last week, so he didn't play. Concerned leading into round 2?
Yeah, I'll question Adele about this on the next show, but yeah, it is a concern because if he hasn't had a trial and he's meant to be playing 80 minutes, I mean, it's going to be a tough ask for him to complete his first game in round 2.
There is another hit out coming.
Like a practice inter-club trial.
Yeah, in a club trial, but it's first versus seconds. But my understanding, it's going to be treated. It's an actual game. They're not going to be light.
I believe Steve's coaching the seconds.
Playing halfback.
Hope you're wearing West Tigers shirts.
Basically, have a look at your 3-2-1 from the weekend. Let's go through that. We'll start with each of your 1 point, and we'll see who got man of the match from both of you. Now I know Steve has cheated a little bit.
Yeah, I've cheated.
Rob doesn't know Steve's cheated.
I don't even know what my 3-2-1 is. I'm just working them out right now, to be honest. So you can go to Steve first.
Well, Steve's come up with 2, so we'll definitely go to Steve first.
Two 1-pointers.
No,
2 3-2-1s.
Okay.
I just thought it was extremely difficult to say who dominated throughout the game when you had 2 totally different games being played, first half, second half. So out of our first graders, right, I've given 3 to Macassini just because I'm still blown away by what he did. I gave 2 to Lui because I just think he gave great service and really ignited the backline, and 1 to Pole, and we've talked about why he got a point. But then I went to the second half, and I thought, well, out of the up and comers who had good games, gave 3 points to Charlie Murray, 2 to Andrews, and 1 to Suka.
Oprah Winfrey here, mate. He's just giving them out
I know.
everywhere. You got a prize. You win a prize. You win a prize.
Yeah, there's a car under your seat.
Been called a lot of things, never Oprah Winfrey. That's a first.
Okay, well, I will just keep it simple and keep it to the three sharpest players, the guys that look ready to play for 2026. Number one, Jerome Lui. I'll speak to Adele about this later. I'll mention a conversation we had in the next show about Lui. Number two, Macassini. He's ready to go, guys. He's not a potential first grader.
No,
he's an out-and-out first grader.
It's in ink.
And if he keeps playing like this for 13 weeks, I mean, they're going to start, saying stupid things about picking him for Origin. That's how good his form could be.
Mate, I don't actually think it's that big of that out there of a prediction. He's rookie of the year.
And
how long's his contract for?
Not long enough.
Forever.
We should be working on that after Friday night, even no matter how long it is. If we've given Alex Twal a 2-year extension on top of the 2 years he's got, let's work on Macassini. And my one point is specifically just to alienate my friend here, Gary Watson.
It's Adam Dwey.
It's Adam Dwey. Okay, just because he's sharp, he's ready to go, kicked a great goal from the sideline. Just he knows how to win. He's a winner.
Gives good service to the right.
Mate, I can't wait for round 2, round 3 and round 4 so I can do the Samuel Afenu, which I won't do on air, but you know what he did after that try celebration at Canterbury, against Canterbury at Parramatta.
So you're not happy with my unpopular opinion?
No, I love it. I'm be honest, I'm just hoping none of the Dewey family are watching this, okay? Because I think he's been great. I think he was great.
I did say he was great.
But you said he was great and then stuck a knife in his back.
No, you can say someone's doing really well, but they still have things to improve on.
But you've admitted you contradict yourself, and I say that respectfully in the sense that you say he's a run first player, which we all know he is a run first player. So if he's run first and he's running first, you can't criticise that. He's a run first player.
The thing is, and not to rehash what we've already spoken about,
but you will.
He doesn't think about the pass until he hits contact.
Pass is his second, third, fourth option. That's right. But as long as he's holding the ball in two hands, I'm happy. If he's got it tucked under, he's running. But if he's got it in two hands and putting the opposition mind in doubt, whether he's going to pass, whether he's going to run, I trust him to make the right decision.
This may be an ongoing conversation all season.
As he leads us to the finals.
I hope so. I'll build a statue to him if he does. My 3-2-1, Macassini, Lui. The only one I'm changing from yours is I'm swapping in Bunty instead of Pole.
Nice.
I thought Bunty was,
and they're all
was
worthy,
fantastic.
guys. All the players you've mentioned, they're all worthy of points.
We were going to go through a predicted lineup, but we're running a little short on time.
It's up to you. Whatever you want.
Any surprises for round 2? We kind of have spoken about it. We spoke about guys pushing.
No, not really. I think Charlie Murray and Tony Suka have given Benji a headache that he may not have had a couple of trials ago. I think there's two guys that weren't in contention that are now in contention, yeah.
I wasn't as impressed with Suka as Steve is, but given that Kai Pearce-Paul, I'm concerned about him playing 80 minutes, then Suka might get a bench role just to be able to play that, unless Seyfarth's going to be on the bench and he's, potential middle, potential edge. But I don't know. I've got to find a spot for Murray. I want to know who's available. Like we've got guys that didn't play this week. If Hunt and Terrell May, he's going to be there. There's only 6 spots, so it's up to Benji. But what a great problem to have. If you've got all guys in form and they're all pushing, like the problem we've had in the past, we've gone maybe 3 or 4 years in a row where we've lost 8 games in a row, 7 games in a row. Even last year, we had a massive stretch before we beat the Roosters during Origin people. And what was the issue? We had no one in reserve grade that we could bring up and say, well, mate, you're not playing good enough. I've got someone below you that can do well. With this sort of form, I know it's only a trial, but if they're all pushing and playing well, there's no reason for Benji to say, look, sorry, mate, go have a few weeks in reserve grade and earn your spot back.
So the question in relation to that I have for you, Rob, Kai Pearce-Paul didn't play Friday night. We've spoken about that. If he's unable to play round 2, are you happy with Alex Seyfarth playing on that right edge?
No, but I'm not happy with Suka playing right edge either. Benji's going to have to go with one of them.
Well, and you haven't mentioned the third bloke because Seyfarth and Sione were interchanging between middle and edge on Friday night.
Well, Sione's defence, I can't have him out there.
No. Yeah, I don't disagree
what
with
about
that.
you, Gary? Who would you play?
It's really hard. I think the reason we went so hard to get Kai Pearce-Paul is because Seyfarth has shown that he's not an edge player. He definitely is a backup middle in my squad. He may sit on the bench in the 19.
And Pearce-Paul can create where
Correct.
Alex really can't.
But there is no right edge second rower sitting there waiting to put in there. So I think those edge players, both left and right, those edge forwards, those second rowers, are still an issue that we've got to solve at the club, just below the two guys we got in first grade who are fantastic.
Yeah, and I think we're overthinking it too. Like if he gets injured, sure, there's a problem. But yeah, I'm sure he'll play.
But he is injured because he didn't play.
Well, they said he had calf tightness, so I think it was more precautionary than anything else. And he's been training flat out. So I don't. Well, he finished the last session early. That's the only reason.
And we heard last year Toa's arm was okay.
True.
You know, the best thing, Gary, is the bloke on my right will be there tomorrow at 10 a.m. and he'll be able to give us the latest update on training and who was wearing the black shirt and the orange shirt. And it'll be good. Thanks, boys, for joining us once again tonight. I think it was a good pod. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, mate.
Want to thank the guys at Mic'dUp Studios for letting us take over the studio once again. Wednesday night, West Tigers Life will return, so 8:30 Wednesday night. Slightly different lineup this week, but make sure you tune in for that. Don't rush off. So 5 to 10 minutes time, we'll have a little break. 5 to 10 minutes time, Rob will be back and is being joined by Coach Adele. So
can't wait.
Should be a great listen, Rob.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Looking forward to having a good chat about the game, and hopefully we don't rehash too much of what we've discussed tonight. But I'd love to get his take on what was going on the other night.
Remember, we're now being released to you through West Tigers TV. Make sure if you're not subscribed to that you do that over the next couple of days to get all our content that's coming out. We are looking for some sponsors for that channel as well. So if you're interested, reach out to us and we can see what we can do there as well. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, Claws Out, Coach's Corner with Rob and Adele coming up.
Thanks, boys.